I've been watching you, studying you closely to see what kind of progress you've made since your training at the hands of Master Zar.
I think we both know the real reason you've been watching me.
You never give up, do you? I admit, I'm interested in you. I find you intriguing, compelling even, but it's not what you think. You have a great gift. You have an awesome command of the Force, and I tremble when I think of how you might misuse it.
I make you tremble. Do you get all tingly inside, too?
What? No, of course not. Not like that, anyway. In many ways, you are dangerous. You could be the savior of the galaxy, or you could bring untold destruction upon us all. I've seen you give in to temptation and indulge your baser emotions on many occasions. I'm afraid you are on the path that leads to the dark side. You need to see what the dark side represents in its entirety, for it is what we battle. Only the wisdom of a Jedi Master can truly explain this, but I will do my best to make you understand.
Bastila, please, we're not going to go over this again, are we?
We must, for all our sakes. If you had the proper training under a master, you would know all this. But because of our mission, I must be the one to try and help you understand. The dark side is not simply giving in to anger, temptation, or to use the Force to destructive ends. These things only lead to the dark side. The dark side grows stronger and more insidious the closer you draw to it. It begs you to surrender to it, to release all its terrible power, and it becomes harder and harder to resist. And once you stop resisting, it's too late. It twists you up inside and turns you into a mockery of everything you once stood for.
Bastila, stop lecturing me, okay? I get it. The dark side is bad.
You say you understand, but I'm afraid you are taking this too lightly. The power of the dark side can be alluring. We need only to look at the atrocities which have been committed by those under its sway to understand the terrible, corrupting evil of the dark side. Millions dead, and far more suffering. What sort of person would you have to become to perform such deeds gladly?
Perhaps it's just your reasoning for acts that you don't accept.
And how adept must one become at making excuses for one's actions if suffering is the result? It's so easy to think that we would never fall prey to such a horror, that we have unlimited control, vigilance, and foresight. If only that were true. The Sith have become powerful because there are many Jedi who've succumbed to the lure of the dark side and joined their cause. What greater weapon is there than to turn an enemy to your cause, to use their own knowledge against them? We are weakened while they are strengthened, so we must harden our hearts and do whatever is required to fight against the dark side, even when the battle becomes wearying.
Bastila, must we keep discussing this? I think I've heard enough about the dark side for today.
No, I suppose not. I've spoken more than enough of the dark side. It is up to you whether you heed my words or not. But words alone cannot save one from the dark side. Come, we should continue with the task at hand. When the time comes, I only hope we're all strong enough to do what we must.
Life forms detected. Determining parameters. Initiating neural recognition.
Yes, there's the thing. Obstinate machine. I've no doubt it holds what you seek, but good luck getting it operational.
Primary neural recognition complete. Preliminary match found.
Match found? What the... It always muttered something about rejected patterns for me.
Begin socialized interface. Awaiting instruction. Greetings. This terminal has not been accessed for quite some time.
Computer, you've acknowledged me. Why?
Subject displays unfamiliarity to environment. Behavioral reconfiguration will be needed before access. I am sorry. I did not mean to confuse you. I will answer questions to the best of my programming limitations.
Computer, I seek access to your star map.
Accessing? Yes, I have found a star map in original system memory. Access is restricted.
I see. Computer, what do I have to do to get access to your star map?
Your request requires additional security access. You must be made to match the parameters I have been supplied. I have been programmed with a very limited field of knowledge, and I must restrict access to only those that fit my allowed pattern.
And I don't fit that pattern.
I can't say. I will try to bring forward the behavior that you need to proceed, as outlined by my programming.
That seems very helpful. Computer, why have I been allowed access?
I can't say. Preliminary matching allows for you to be coached.
Computer, do you know why? Or are you restricted from saying?
I can't say. Likelihood of restriction by previous user, 100%. You must be made to match the parameters I have been supplied.
And what happens if I fail this evaluation?
Then you are not worthy of further access. You will be rejected as unsuitable.
Computer, how do I match these parameters if I don't even know what they are?
There are measures available. Personality profiling will verify the basic structure of your conscious mind. With that, I will determine whether you are ready to receive the star map or can be made ready.
Computer, what limitations have been placed on your programming?
Corruption has resulted in gaps appearing in my memory and in that of the original installation. It could be theorized that these gaps are intentional, but I have no information on that. If you have further questions, ask them now. Access will terminate with success or failure of
Computer,
evaluation.
you may begin the evaluation.
Evaluation commencing. Result will be compared against the pattern in memory. Just act like you should. You travel with a Wookiee and have encountered complications. Hypothetical. You and this Zalbar are captured and separated. If you both remain silent, 1 year in prison for each of you. However, call Zalbar a traitor, and he will serve 5 years, while you serve none. He is offered the same deal. But if you both accuse the other, you both serve 2 years. What do you do? What do you trust him to do?
Computer, how do you know about Zalbar? He's not here with me.
I hear what happens on Kashyyyk, and a good deal beyond. Answer the question I have posed.
Well, I'm unsure about Zalbar. I guess I would accuse him just to be safe.
The temperament of a companion is unreliable at best. You wisely trade the threat of 1 year or 5 for none or 2.
This machine certainly seems to want a very specific type of response.
In this instance, the Wookiee is unreliable. His family has been a mire of treachery. I judge the answer correct. You display the proper behavior to match the pattern in memory. Evaluation will continue. Hypothetical. You are at war. Deciphering an intercepted code, you learn 2 things about your enemy. A single spot in their defense will be at its weakest in 10 days, and they will attack one of your cities in 5 days. What do you do with this information? What is the most efficient course of action?
That's easy, computer. I prepare my forces to attack in 10 days, and I will leave the city be.
Very good. If you had moved to evacuate the city, you would have alerted the enemy to their lost codes. Ultimate victory required the deaths of the people in that city. You wisely ignored sentiment in your decision.
And the deaths of those citizens will spur my forces on.
Very good reasoning. I will apply it to the rest of the evaluation. You begin to match the pattern in memory. Hypothetical. Remove the ongoing war from the previous example. Consider enemy states to be weak and remote. With no external threat, your empire stagnates. Your people become complacent and begin to question you. Same scenario as before. You discover an impending attack, but also a weakness that will come after. How do you react?
I let the attack happen.
Of course you do. It makes the most strategic sense. Your people will rally beneath you against the common foe. As their eyes turn outward, your rule will strengthen. The trappings of war grant many opportunities. You have matched the pattern in memory. I recognize you and will fulfill my designated function. Soon you will recognize the proper course to follow. The star map is yours.
Well, well, the star map. An ancient artifact of dark side power. Can't say I'm surprised. I always knew there was something funny down here. I wonder if the star map has had an effect on the evolution of the creatures here in the Shadowlands. Might explain why it's so dangerous down here. An interesting theory, but I suppose we don't have time to test it now, do we? Now that we've got what you came for, we should be heading back up to the treetops.